So hi everyone. Welcome to my up close and personal slot. And today I have someone with me who, to me, is a complete rock star, absolute rock star. And I'd like to introduce you to Heather Urquhart. And Heather is the founder of Huna Apothecary, which is a skincare company in Canada, based in Winnipeg in Canada. And she grows her own herbs. And just to give you an idea about this lady, when I first got her to fill in a welcome form and I asked how committed she was to her business and how many hours she'd work, she said, "How many hours are there in a week? Because I'll work all of them." And I think that more or less sums her up. So hi and welcome, Heather, and thanks so much for coming to talk to me.
Hi, Melinda. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
Okay, so Heather, tell me about the beginnings of Huna, or I know about the beginnings of Huna, but you tell my audience about how you started this and what it was you wanted to achieve.
Sure. So the company founded in November 2014. And to be honest, when I set out on this path, I really actually set out to just learn about cosmetic making more as a hobby. And I think that's how a lot of us start. But as things progressed, I realized that I had a real business opportunity. So I started selling to friends and family, essentially. I started making products for myself, and my friends started asking, what are you using on your skin? Your skin looks great. Shared it with them. Built a website after that with encouragement from my friends and family. We're like, you've really got something here. And I launched that across Canada. So all of the branding that I had done and everything was really sort of done by myself. It was not professional. So the reason I got in touch with Melinda was a few years into my business when I realized, okay, we've really got something here. We're getting contacted by Vogue and some big magazines. We're starting to get a little bit of media attention. But we really had to elevate our brand and sort of elevate our execution because we had skipped a lot of those steps in the first part. So.
Okay, you were working, you lived on a farm, or your parents live on a farm, and you were actually,
Yes.
because you're a botanist, aren't you, as well?
Yes, I'm a botanist, an herbalist, and a natural cosmetic formulator now. So
Yeah.
I had always studied plants kind of just as a passion, really. It's always been a passion. And then at the same time, paying my way through university, I had worked for Lancome Cosmetics. So I had always been immersed in skincare and cosmetics, and I loved plants from being a very young child, and it had become my career. So it's sort of like the merging of the two worlds, the two passions kind of came together.
But
So my parents... Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just that there was definitely a third world out there, and that was about the fact that you wanted to make a lot of money out of this. You were a businesswoman, and you still are.
Yes, definitely. Well, I had the corporate side too. I did a few years in corporate and had some business training. And also, I think sometimes, like you need to kind of push yourself and think big. And that's a big part of the business side too, is sort of having the confidence and knowing that you have the ability and the skill set to be able to take this up to a big business, up to an entrepreneurial level. So.
So you're in Canada, and Canada is actually pretty good on grants, isn't it? Because
yes.
I remember when we first started, you already had some mentors and some venture capital in place, didn't you?
Yes, actually we did. So I pushed myself to enter a startup competition. And that was one of the major kind of pivoting points in our business that really shifted me from a small business into like an entrepreneurial, a global scalable business. Okay. So it was a 3-day workshop with some mentors who happened to be angel investors and venture capitalists. And they really taught me how to pitch my business for capital. And at the end of it, we were invited into like sort of the higher level competition, which was called Venture Challenge. And then it was a provincial competition. We pitched our business idea to a room full of investors, and we won first place, which gave us $100,000 in non-diluted funding.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, totally. So that set us off like on a great path to success. And then we got in touch with a lot of great mentors and coaches. And so we had the support and we had the resources, the financials to do it.
And with all that, you still came to see me.
Oh, absolutely. So, so the real advantage of you, oh yeah, the more mentors, the better. No, but really like it's great to have investors and have the business side of things. But what I would really found that I was missing was somebody like an industry expert. So I really needed somebody who understood natural skincare and the beauty business from a global perspective and had connections and a network within that as well. And that's really what you delivered for us, Melinda. So that's huge.
So what do you think your biggest challenges have been along the way? I mean, I know delegation has been, there were certain things that were big issues for you. One was
Yes.
time management.
Yes.
You were working all the hours under the sun.
Yes, totally.
The other was delegation, because initially you worked with a lot of students and there was a turnover every 8 weeks or something, wasn't there? And you had to retrain them.
Yes, we were taking in student volunteers. And so there was a part of me, and I mean, that's a mindset thing too. So there was a part of me, it was a control thing. You know, I really wanted to hold on to every aspect of my business. So Melinda, you were instrumental in the delegation part and in changing my mindset, giving me confidence, knowing that I can build a team and I won't get to where I need to be unless I have a team. So now we have 5 employees working for us. I don't take student volunteers anymore. We've shifted to paid employees, but there's a big difference between, we don't have that turnover now. So we're investing in training. We're sending our people out for external training and sort of building those skill sets internally, which is awesome.
And are you recording things on computers rather than on pencil and paper these days?
Yes. There was more hurdles there.
That was slightly unfair, but I had this wonderful business that's blossoming in every direction, and then I get the message that actually it's all being done by hand.
It's all being done by hand. Yes.
So,
so I'm not really technologically savvy, and which is really funny when you're running an e-commerce business too. I'm still a pen to paper person. I write my ideas. I'm creative. I always write on pen to paper, so I still have my creative notebooks. But in terms of the business management, the back end, the structure of it, we've shifted. Everything is software, technology. Everything's communicating, talking to each other. Automate as much as possible. Get it off of your plate completely. And even if you don't have employees, then outsource. Get it off your plate. So yeah.
So you've been extremely good at raising money and finding opportunities for grants, competitions, all this sort of thing.
Yes.
How do you find out about them? I mean, what do you do to explore that world?
So that for us is about, it's your social network. So first of all, we tapped into the entrepreneurial startup scene within our local community, both on a provincial and on a national level. So within Manitoba and within Canada, we tapped into what's the startup scene got to offer. What sort of startup groups do they have, mentoring groups, and then there's a lot of competitions, startup competitions out there, and it's not about entering them to win, because that's not the reason that we entered the first competition. It was really, we've got to take our business to the next level. I was there for that weekend of coaching, for that boot camp. So it's just being open to learning, not always trying to grab the cash. They're both opportunities, really. And then the other side of things was tapping into the university and partnering with the university.
I was going to ask about that, because that's that's turned out to be a brilliant partnership for you, hasn't it?
It really has. And that opened the door to government grants. So really it's the university with private companies essentially, and then tapping into the government to get research grants. So it's that triangle that we've created that's been instrumental in getting us cash and funding through the government.
So because Heather's production facilities are on the university, that's right, isn't it? Now?
Yes.
How did that relationship come about?
Well, that was really interesting, actually. The first startup competition that we did, that venture challenge where we won the first 100,000, there were actually members of the University of Manitoba in the audience. Members of the board, and they had reached out to the Dean of Science at the University of Manitoba, who's a female, and she's very supportive of women in science and women who are doing different things with their science degrees, and that's something that she saw in us. So when somebody sort of said, hey, I think you'd be interested in this person, she checked us out, she reached out, and she said, if you need anything at all, we'd love to support you. Why don't you come in and have a meeting? And I said, at the time, we were looking to expand and move out of our home, because that's where I was operating, out of our house still. and get a real facility. So I said, is there anywhere, you know, on campus that takes startups and, you know, we could rent the space from? And it just sort of flowed from there. So sometimes it's just like, just ask.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, you never know. Sometimes it winds up being like your next great business partnership.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. And what I mean, when it's an organization like that, it gives you an enormous amount of credibility in terms of your
yes,
formulations and the sort of scientific approach that you take
yes,
to your natural product. So that really was a great gift for you to
yes,
that situation.
absolutely. And I'm alumni with the University of Manitoba. Like I graduated from the
Ah,
science program, which was really where the connection came too. Yeah.
right. So I know you put a Facebook post up a couple of days ago that I think you've been packing one particular order for about 3 months.
It feels like that long. Yeah. No, it was probably like the full production time was probably about 4 weeks. And it's, but leading up to it, certainly it's like bringing all the ingredients and making our proprietary blends and everything. But yeah, we just did our biggest order ever. It was 7,000 units. And that is for a subscription box, a national subscription box in Canada. So the products go coast to coast.
Wow. So
yeah.
what about sales? How are you managing sales?
We're doing pretty well. We've really grown a lot through word of mouth. And we do, as to date, we've done a lot of free marketing. So it's like your social media, and we've partnered with bloggers and influencers. So we're just at a point now where we're starting to put money towards PR, but to date, it's been mostly organic growth. We're at about 7,000 to 10,000 in sales per month. That's like recurring revenue. And then we do have fabulous months where we'll have like a great contract of like 40K or something like that. But those are sort of more your one-offs. But our growth has been really slow and steady, which makes it manageable because we do all of our production in-house. So.
And you've just launched in the US as well, haven't you?
Yes, we just launched online in the US, and we're looking for a distribution partner in Canada. And once we've managed that, then we're going to be looking to US retail, and then eventually getting into a distribution partnership within the US too. So
and then export, and then the world, the rest of the world.
Yes, and then the world. Yeah, yeah, you bet.
The world. From what I remember of the mentorship, I think it was almost 2 years ago now. There were a couple of things, weren't there? One was that we completely revamped the website to make your branding.
Yes.
To make it look chicer,
shiny and new. So we, like, a lot of the feedback that I was getting, I was struggling when we were trying to sell into retail, and I was getting feedback after asking a lot of questions to our retailers. You know, why aren't we fitting into the store? You know, basically people were impressed with our products, but they were not impressed with our packaging and our brand execution. So Melinda, you were fantastic in setting us up with the right contacts. Our branding now, we still get compliments daily. People love our branding, and it's now really easy to sell into retail. So sometimes it can come down to just that little piece, which is actually a big, massive piece.
Yeah.
You know, we are in the beauty industry. So like, yeah, Strata Creative is who you connected us to, and they're fabulous partners from the beginning. They did all of our branding, our website work, and all of our packaging, and we still work with them today, and we will continue to partner with them in the future.
And the other thing, I remember that wonderful, it was about visibility, and I got you to do that video with the rose with your spray.
Yes.
And I still use that. I still ship that out to people as an example of how a video should be done, because it was brilliant. But visibility,
thank you.
You came out, didn't you? Became much more visible as the, I mean, you're so much the part. And are you still using that a lot in your marketing?
I am, yes. So visibility is still totally a focus. I do, like, when you're managing all of the different aspects of business, you kind of go in waves and lulls of using video and not using video, because basically you know, oh God, I haven't done a video in 2 months, I've got to hop back on. But video is key, and putting yourself out there in your business and being honest and authentic and open is really, it's very important. And people, your customer, they perceive that and they see that. So, you know, if you've sort of got this, you know, this wall up between you and your business, then your customer will perceive that. But if you open yourself up to the world, then beautiful things happen. You start making great connections, and you really start to grow.
Yeah. What about trade shows? Have you had any experience doing trade shows?
Yeah, we haven't done a trade show ourselves. I've actually been on the flip side of it where we're attending trade shows right now, and we're looking at what other companies are doing and how they're presenting themselves. Trade shows in North America, they are fairly expensive, especially the one that we really are targeting, which is Indie Beauty Expo. So we're not financially at a position where we can afford it yet. We're thinking probably next year it's on goal. So now I'm attending, we're seeing how they're done. You know, we want to go in and make a big impact too. So you want to make sure that you're elevated to where all the brands are executing. So, so it's learning right now. Yeah.
And time management, how are you coping with that?
Time management, much better. Much better. I really am. So once I took on the team, what's that?
You're taking some time for yourself now.
I am. Well, right now I'm down at the farm and it's the middle of the week. And, you know, I'm just sort of, you know, I've got the sun shining in, and it's a balance now of, you know, doing work for a couple hours, but hopping into the garden and sort of enjoying life for a couple hours. It's summer. So, so I'm much better now. I have a team and we've outsourced enough and we've automated enough that now that's freed up enough of my time. So not only can I enjoy life more, but I can also focus on the pieces that really matter in the business, which is bringing in capital, bringing in revenue, you know, sales, PR, like that. Those are my big pieces right now.
Okay.
So
where, when we talk this time next year, where are you going to be? Where's Huna going to be?
Well, I think we're going to be generating some major revenues. I think we're going to have a lot more employees and a lot more structure in our business. And I think we're going to be looking to, if not being global, we're certainly going to be close to it. So,
yeah, I mean, it really has been, I mean, the one thing I really admire about the way Heather's approached this is it's really been about building this solid foundation, and every rock, like the university and the, you know, the team, every rock is a building block for the expansion into a big company. So when that huge break comes, you're going to be absolutely ready for it. And it's just around the corner. I mean, we're talking, let's talk 10 times the order you've just had in, and let's talk every month.
Yeah, definitely. It's about building the right foundation. It really is. And you can feel that momentum. You can feel it building. And you know, when your business, you're like, this is getting really exciting. I know good things are coming. Like, you can feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they are. And they definitely are.
Yeah.
So biggest challenge to date?
Biggest challenge to date.
What piece of advice would you give these guys? Because they're all scared to death and starting out and not quite.
No, I completely agree. And everyone, don't be afraid is first of all what I can say. But it's mindset. There's so much mindset work. And I really believe that's the biggest hurdle. And Melinda, you were huge in that. It's about getting the right mindset. And if you don't, then essentially you're destined to stay in your your small kind of self-doubt or fearful frame of mind. And that will get in your way. It will absolutely get in your way. Once you have the right mindset, that fear drops away. It really does. It dissolves. And you're sort of like, you're confident. You're ready to get out there. You're not afraid to share your message. You're not afraid to communicate to the world. And you're ready to just get out there and conquer. So mindset is everything. It's you can have all the pieces in place, but until you have your mindset right, then it's really tough. So get in touch with Melinda and get your mindset right.
Thank you. Thank you, Heather. Okay, so we are going to catch up again next year. Actually, I'd like this to be like one of those series where they do every year and look at it. You know, these series with a child, and you take
I love that
every year, and then you look back on it. Because you've come a long way since we started out together, and it's wonderful to see it.
Thank you so much, Melinda.
Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Bye, darling. Whoops.